probably will, and that's okay.
Great, thank you. Ed Fun has been here with us before. He is just a fantastic portrait photographer. Um, I'm sure you've seen his credentials on our website, and he teaches at different schools. He's been doing photography for years. He's based in Riverside. He has a really great, well, he has one great account on Instagram, and that's Peter Fun Photography. And check it out because he does some really nice portrait photography, and with the lighting is just great. Me and Afshin actually were at the Riverside Day of the Dead Festival, which they have every year, which is really neat. And I was just strolling through there with Afshin, and we ran into Peter there, and of course he knew us, recognized us, and he's such a nice guy. He got out his equipment, he gave it to me. I didn't have a flash, and it was getting dark. He says, "Here, put this on, put these filters on." He leads me all around, grabs some girls that are walking down the street, and we start taking photos. It was really great. He's just a wonderful person. So I'd like to bring him up here and let him get started on his demonstration. Peter?
Thank you so much, Steve. I'm just going to use my wireless, all right? Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so honored to be invited back. That means I didn't bomb the last time, because I did it on Zoom that last time. It was brutal. All I saw was black little squares and names, and it was like a seance. Anybody there, Well, that's how it was when I was teaching. I've been teaching I teach at a high school in the city of Orange. I'm what's called a career technical education teacher. So it's CTE, maybe they used to call it ROP, same kind of animal, same thing. I teach about 3 classes a day in Orange. I live in Riverside. So this has been a long day for me, but I enjoy coming out and seeing people and sharing my passion. That's a big thing for me. I know it's kind of reminds me when Mac users used to have like a user group meetings and stuff like that. That's also gone the way of the dinosaurs, I think. I don't know why, but so how do young people learn new things? I guess YouTube, huh? Sad. It's sad.
Yes.
That's yeah. They get well. If you're on Instagram, you can see my account is up there. And just hearing Rick talk about things that people shoot so much, Instagram has not been really very good for photographers, I feel, because like Rick says, you see something, everybody goes and mimics it, copies it, and that's the same thing. They don't put a different spin to the same scene. Like if I was at Horseshoe Bend, I would probably have somebody there doing something. Not a naked woman or anything like that, but somebody doing something, whether it's a dancer or something, something. That would be my spin on it. Okay, but I hardly leave my zip code these days, so that's how it is. So anyway, if you're interested and you have Instagram, that's my Instagram up there. So if you're looking at your Instagram and you're up here, you can probably, if there's a question about any pictures that you see there, feel free to bring it up and I can talk a little bit about it. But today's topic is really about posing and stuff like that, right? Posing. So let me see. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right screen here. So this is what I want. All right. So posing your subjects. That's what we're talking about today. So one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is my background is I was a newspaper photographer. So I was a photojournalist. As a photojournalist, I wasn't supposed to set up a lot of pictures, but I had to do my fair share of environmental pictures, environmental portraits, they call them, where it's a person in their environment. And it's basically a picture that tells you right away what they do for a living. There's a lot of that kind of stuff you see in news or what used to be, newspapers. Anyway, you have like the business section, the CEO, boring stuff like that. But basically, you still have to gather all the elements together and then maybe light it so that you can control where the viewer's eye looks. And that's the reason I spend a lot of time lighting, because if I had to take a picture in this room here, right, there's a lot of distraction. Everything you see is a distraction. But if you lit the scene, then you control where the viewer's eye will look because you are controlling where the light is going, see? And that's the difference when somebody uses lighting, okay? So in that sense, posing a subject it's something that you can't just say, okay, I use this pose in every picture I do. Because why? The light changes. Okay, you're not going to be in the same room conditions when you do that pose. So that pose might not work outdoors when the sun is coming this way or that way. So all those things have to be taken into account when you're talking about posing, right? So these are some of the considerations that you need to think about when you are thinking about posing, okay? Lighting is one of the first things, okay? First of all, certain lighting would favor certain poses, right? Certain lighting would favor certain poses because the pose where you like if you lit up somebody like this, I suppose, like that, then you're limited to the number of poses you can do, and then right? So you can't just say, I like that pose, I'm going to use that pose for that situation. You have to take into consideration the lighting, and then you have to take into consideration the personality of the person you're photographing. Some people are very, very rambunctious, and then some are not. So to ask somebody to do something that's not in their nature, it's not always going to be easy. Am I right? It's not going to be easy. So that's why you sort of have to think about all these things when you want to post somebody, right? So my best suggestion is then you try to nail down, first of all, the lighting first. What kind of lighting you want and what type of... So whenever you do a portrait, you got to collaborate, ask the person, so what, can we try this? How about if you dress? So one of those things is you have to think about wardrobe also at the very bottom. The wardrobe is super important because everything has to come together. Otherwise, it's gonna look like, oh my gosh, everything's...
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Can we make sure that you're sharing this?
Okay, I'm sorry. This is not sure. What happened? It's not... Did I leave the Zoom?
Is the Zoom still? No, no.
Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, let's do this one. All right. Okay.
That's it.
Sorry.
We see it now.
Okay, so, all right. So lighting, so I was just talking about wardrobe, right? They all have to mesh. Otherwise, it's going to be very weird. Something looks forced, everything, So that's why whenever you're talking about posing, they are not all separate entities. You have to think about all those things, mashing together, okay? So personalities, then you have to have some sort of a concept, okay? Like, are you going for reality, realism, or is it something abstract, okay? So those things will determine whether your lighting can be a little bit more free or not, right? So now let's see. Okay, so you can see those. I gotta get those. I guess they can see that, or let me see.
Yeah, they can see.
But we have to
minimize this. Yeah, yours needs to a little dash up here.
Okay. See all these technicalities. Uh-oh, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay. Are they still seeing it? All right. All right. All right.
Yeah, we're there.
Okay. So, sorry guys at home. All right. So we have different poses and stuff like that. Now, generally speaking, right? Once I have my lighting down and I like what I see, that's when I say, okay, I'm gonna work this. I don't just shoot like one picture, stop. Okay, one picture. I'm shooting a lot. I'm shooting a sequence, right? So you can see the different expressions, right? So I'm shooting a series of expressions. So now, when it comes to lighting, right? The more gear you slap out and put up there, the more staged your picture is gonna look, because your lighting is just gonna be in this one area. It's not gonna be all over, so that person can't be dancing around and doing all kinds of stuff now, because the light has to hit their face, right? The light has to hit their face. So when you're doing those types of things, you have to ask yourself, okay, am I doing a really controlled portrait where I'm just going this much, or am I going to go more loose? Okay, so generally speaking, indoors, because the light is not so good, it tends to be very staged and very static, just like if I was going to do a demo tonight, right? So see, this is for an example of what I mean by more of a static picture, right? It's a static picture, but it serves a purpose. It tells you what this person does for a living. Right away, you think, okay, some sort of chemistry thing has to do with chemistry, right? Okay, and as I show this, you'll see, okay, here's the other picture. Now that everything in this picture is very controlled, if you don't realize it by now, because if you see, here's another one, okay? And because the professor's office is actually very small, I don't have a lot of room to light. So here's what the scene looks like, okay? So I have one light over here, the speed light that's up there, okay? The speed light, that's the one that's separating him from the background. And then this gridded light is so that the light doesn't go all over the place. And then there's a blue gel in the background just to give it a little bit of a pizzazz, that's what it does, okay? So sometimes, that's why my suggestion is, if you're playing with off-camera flash, one of the best things you can do is take a shot, an overall shot where your light placement is, okay? Take a shot of where your light placement is every time you change something. Then you look at your pictures, oh, that didn't work. Now I know why. Okay, those are your notes. And especially since I shoot on manual, everything's on manual. I don't do TTL and all that, because I found like TTL is super unreliable for me. I don't like it. I shoot everything on manual, my aperture, my shutter speed, my flash power, everything's on manual. That way I can dial it in exactly how I want it, okay? And that's what you should do. So if you take pictures like this, right? The next time I go into this situation, I know in my head, okay, where's this gonna go? Where's it gonna go? This is what I'm gonna get. Okay, this is what I'm gonna get. All right, the rest of this is just ratios. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 3 lights and then 1 reflector. Okay, all right, so here's another situation where I know, okay, this is super confined and tight, right? Now, there's hardly any room. She feels like she's in a little chicken coop like that. But you see how tight it is? It's 1 light, okay? This is 1 light. So 1 light is hitting that flashlight, is hitting that. It's coming back at her face, and then the other one is kicking in. So you can get a lot of things done with 1 light. You can, especially if you're in close proximity. So most of us, when we start out, we only have 1 flash anyway. The trick is to get it off the camera and start playing with it with reflectors, okay? So, okay, outdoors on location, now that's a whole different thing, because we got a lot of elements. We got people photobombing you. We got, this picture I shot at the Day of the Dead festival last year, okay? You got people in your background everywhere, you know. So basically, I didn't want to have that many people. And so I said, okay, this is what I have to do, right? I handed my flash to somebody and said, hey, can you hold this flash for me, right? Okay, why is it not going? Come on. What happened here? Did I lose something? Okay, let's see. Maybe, okay, so it's never the same. The conditions are never the same. Well, I say never, but truthfully, it is the same because you know at sunset, if you shoot at the same ISO every time, then you know at sunset what it's going to be. It's only if you're the kind that shoots your ISO all over the place, then you won't know your exposure. If Rick knows he shot film, he knows exactly ISO 100 at you know what time, it's 500 at 5/6 at you know about noon, like that. So you know it's those things don't change, but there are things that change. The color temperature changes from sunrise, noon to sunset. So you know you got to be ready for those, right? So there's mixed lighting conditions. Then when you're outdoors, like at a festival, you have all the neon lights and all those street lights, that sodium vapor and, you know, a lot of things. So that's where you don't have a lot of, you're juggling a lot of things. So most of the time I'll just say, okay, let me get my lighting first. Once I get my lighting, then I get my viewpoint, like which way I'm going to shoot it. And after that, I'll say, okay, I'll start with the posing. Okay. Now, when you're outdoors in a festival, you're yelling. It's not ideal. You're yelling. You got no time to, you know, like charm them. You got no time for that. At best, you can do like, oh, that looks good. You know, look this way, look that way. You know, that's all you can do. So, as far as mixed lighting, that's what it means, okay? So there's different things like that. Now, what you can do with the difference in Kelvin temperature is at sunset or sunrise, you need this color temperature orange gel, okay? This color temperature orange gel, because your flash puts out daylight, which is more like 5,500 Kelvin. So when you shoot in the evening, you want to make sure you have that gel so that when you go back to your computer and you try to process the image, you're going to be like, oh my God, why does she look this color and then that color? You know, you got to, if you shot film, you'll know what I'm talking about, especially if you shot transparency or slides, right? You know what it's about. Okay, now, so all right, but outdoors has the advantage that you can be more dynamic with your posing because you have available light to help you, right? So I knew that going in, so all I had to do was figure out like which poses work and all that. Okay, all right. So here's me on the ground shooting up at them, and here's my friend holding the flash. The flash here has the gel over the flash head so that it matches the late evening light. Okay, so when I go back to my computer, it's super easy to make everything match. Okay, those of you that never shot slide film, you don't know this type of this type of pain. Okay, this is a real pain. Okay, here's another shot later in the day, right? Now here, okay, that's this little thing I use. Basically, it's a small softbox. Nothing fancy, it's just this, okay? What it does is it makes your speed light into a bigger light source because you know the bigger your light source, the softer the light, right? So I didn't want to carry a lot of gear. Over the years, I've covered this festival like 20 years or something like that, 18 years maybe. So over the years, I've tried various things and I found like bringing something like this can make a big difference, and that picture shows that. Okay, so so right here that's all the lighting that I used for that. Okay, just this, see, and one speed light. That's it. Nothing fancy, right? Nothing fancy.
Is it on the camera or is it?
No, it's off camera. That guy was holding, I don't have that long a reach. Okay. So it was off camera. I just, yeah.
The gel was on that.
Yes, the gel was on the speed light. The speed light was in here. Okay. Something simple like that. And then I had the trigger on my hot shoe. Okay. So absolutely you can do it. But, you know, I had to do a lot of Photoshop here because I had to get rid of people in the background. Okay. But that's what you do. Here's another picture from that same day, right? There was all kinds of distractions. It's crazy. Okay, there's all kinds of distractions. So you can see a wider shot here, right? Here's a wider shot. And even here, I had to take out some things. Now, some people would actually go and take and remove the parking structure and all that. That's too much for me, okay? That's just too much work for me. This is good enough, all right? This is good enough. This is good enough, all right? So wardrobe is the thing that also will help you decide on the posing, okay? If it's something like this, she's a singer. She's kind of happy and upbeat and rambunctious. So I kind of had my lights set up and I just say, okay, let's just sing a few songs and just move around and let's see, I'll just keep shooting. That's easy. That's the easiest kind of people to shoot because all you have to do is figure out your canvas, light your area, and then you're good to go. Those are the easiest to shoot, okay? But you have to be very good technically. You got to know exactly where your light is going to go and what it's going to do, okay? So all right. So here's some examples from that shoot. And here, see, I think that's my favorite shot of her. Okay, all right. So this is another one. Let me see. Yeah, this is from the same shoot. It's a different, yeah. All right, it's the same shoot. Now this is more like a little bit more glamorous. So, you know, I found that chair there and they use that chair. So props are super important to sell the picture, to sell the imagery, right? The props, okay? Props are super important for your posing too, because there's only that much you can do with someone standing here without something. There's only that much you can do. And you know, there's only that much. Spin around, you know, there's only that much, okay? If they have short hair like me, you got nothing, no reason to spin around, right? If you have long hair, you at least have a reason to go, oh, do that, you know, right? But that's the thing there, right? So you see, you can do that, and that's the same girl, see? So whenever I shoot something, and some of these are at meetups and different things like that. Now, what I don't do is I try to shoot something that is different from what everybody is shooting. In other words, sometimes you go to these meetups and everybody just sets up something. Somebody sets up something, and everybody gets in there and shoots the same thing. I don't do that because I don't feel that it doesn't benefit me to shoot the same thing that everyone is shooting. Number one, I'm ending up with the same picture like at horse band. What's that? Horseshoe band. I'm ending up with that same thing, right? I'd rather wait for the people to be done with that model and say, hey, come on over here, let's try something different. I'd rather do that because then I get something that I like, okay? That's the backlighting is let me see, okay. So let me tell the lighting on this one, okay? I use that softbox over there. It's kind of overhead like that, right there. And the sun is on the sun is probably coming slightly from the right side, okay? That's the sun. So when you use a gel in the evening, the color temperature orange, you can combine sunlight with your flash and make it look very natural like that. Okay, if I didn't have the color temperature orange flash gel on the flash, your eye will be like, something's wrong. Your eyes will be like, it's very hard to reconcile the color temperature difference if you don't have that. Okay, so here's the same girl all right? I didn't like the background, so I just did something to it. I don't know, that didn't work. It's a work in progress, okay? All right, so here's the same girl with a different pose. Now, not necessarily too crazy about the pose, but keep in mind my lights were already set up and I didn't want to move the lights just to get a different pose because by this time, the sun was already going down. The sun is on the right-hand side, it's coming in. My light is coming from the left, okay? My light is this little thing here, okay? Basically, it's just a cardboard tube with a flash in it, right here, okay? So you turn it on, and then this will be group C, okay? Group C, this is group A, and then I know what I'm doing here, right? So this will be my light to light, you know, something to give an edge. That's why it's shaped like that, right? I think I bought it for like $150. Yeah, I bought it for $150, but it served its purpose because when you're shooting somewhere and it's super windy, you don't want to have a softbox and umbrella outdoors. This has a low profile and it won't fall over. It's like a big rig and, you know, a little whatever in the strong winds, same thing, okay? So, all right. So what we'll do next is I'll just show you some of these pictures from, okay, I have to show you some, let me see. Okay, maybe I'll show you some pictures from that, just the outtakes. Let me just find it first. Okay, then I'll do share.
You're already there.
I'm already there. Are they seeing this at home?
Not yet. Not yet. You gotta blow it up.
I gotta blow it up. New share.
It says resume share. So yeah. There we go. We're back to that.
Oh, we're back to that. So I need a new share then.
Yeah, so stop sharing.
And then go to Lightroom.
There you go.
Okay. Are they seeing this? Can you confirm?
Not, it's just the very top.
Not yet. Yeah, just the top edge.
Yeah, just the top edge.
Really?
Try a different instance of Lightroom.
Let me see. This one.
Yeah. Okay, so
There you go.
That's just.
All right.
That's just a preview. Yeah.
All right. Okay. This is weird. Okay. Anyway, I'm showing you this because let me just hide this for a minute. All right. I'm showing you this because the last time I was in here, I did this demo with the lighting, right?
What we're seeing is the preview on the left. That pane.
Oh, only that.
Yeah, we're not seeing.
We're not seeing the full screen.
No, we're not seeing the full.
So how do I do this full screen thing? Go back to here, stop sharing screen,
Yeah.
and then go to share screen,
Yeah.
and then go to maybe
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
All right. So the last time I was in here, I just did this demo with the lighting on how to light someone with the reflection, and that's what I found. So I thought maybe I just put that in there. Okay. All right. So when it comes to couples, a lot of times I will, you gotta diplomatically see like, okay, how does this person look? Because sometimes you'll have someone that doesn't look so good, yet they want to expose a lot of their shoulders and stuff like that. So you gotta have the thing like, okay, when you come, can you bring a long sleeve, something, sweater or something, so that we can, there's no way around this. I'm sorry, but what did they say? On the internet, there's one of those questions like, describe what you do poorly for a living. And mine is like, I say, I convince people that don't look very good that they look good for a very brief instance. okay, for a very brief instance. And truly, that's what I do, because when I take a picture, it's a very brief instance, right? All right. So I try to have things like, if I see, okay, so ideally I meet the person, or maybe I'll go on Facebook and we become friends, and I just take a look at their pictures to get an idea what they look like. Okay, so you don't want to be blamed for taking a bad picture if you weren't prepared. You know, you just don't want to do that. That's why. So I try to hedge all bets. So I say, can you bring something to cover your shoulders too? You know, just in case. I don't say just in case, but the just in case is just me thinking in my head, right? Just in case, right? So, so I'm sure you know, like certain brides will, even though they're a little bit on the heavier side and they're wearing bare shoulders, you know, and that is really hard to shoot to make them look good, okay? And it's okay if they have a realistic perception of what they look like. Some don't, and hence the word bridezilla, right? Right? You heard that, right? So anyway, I told her to get like, you know, something black, and then it just worked out a lot better, okay? It just worked out a lot better, because on the wedding day, that's another different thing, okay? So I'm shooting. Sometimes you hide people behind some other people. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do, you know, I'm afraid to say it, but it's true. Okay, so let's move on to other things. Now posing, we're talking about posing, right? So that's one way to do those type of things, right? You hide somebody behind or you hide a feature on their face with their hands. Let's say you don't like the double chin. What you could do is do a pose where they're covering the double chin, right? That's a simple thing to do. So it's better if you have long sleeves, especially nowadays. It's probably a generational thing, but I really dislike tattoos a lot. It's super distracting. It's super distracting. It's a generational thing. So every now and then I'll get a model that has tattoos all the way, even to the fingers. With the fingers, it's like, oh my God. So anyway, if I can help it, I don't photograph those models. I don't, just because I don't want to spend 10 minutes on the hand, you know, taking out the tattoos. That's not worth it. I'm not going to shoot it. I'm sorry. It's just not worth it. All right. So for that reason, I'm very selective about who I shoot. Now, here you can see when I talk about posing, right? You always want to emphasize the slenderness of the female form, right? Generally speaking, I would say most women shouldn't be photographed straight on, except if they're really slender. Most of the time, you always want to make sure they're on the side, and you want to keep the arms away from the torso so you can see her form, right? The worst type of outfit would be like if they were in a graduation gown where it's like a straight cylinder, like a muumuu, you know, straight down. Then I would say put a belt on so you can see where the waist goes in and where the rest comes out, because you want to emphasize that shape, right? You want to emphasize the shape. So I'm throwing this in here so you can see what the picture looks like. See, there's a lot of clutter. That's a lot of clutter. So sometimes you can't help it. You gotta shoot it. But then you have to think in your mind's eye, okay, this is not finished product. So what is it gonna look like? So I knew I was gonna crop it. I just knew I was gonna crop it, okay? That's what I did, okay? So when I cropped it, you can see now it's gonna look like that, okay? Right? See, I cropped it and see how much better it is on the right? So much better, right? So a lot of times you sort of have to go with those type of things. Like here's another picture, here's the picture that I shot it out of the camera, and then here's one like that. Oh, wrong one, sorry. It should be this one, hold on. this one, and this one, right there, right? So I generally speaking, I shoot horizontals because if I shoot a vertical, I'm stuck with a vertical. If I shoot a horizontal, I can crop it to a vertical, right? Never paint yourself into a corner if you can help it, right? And nowadays with your 30 megapixel camera, what the heck? Shoot horizontal and then crop into a vertical. Okay, especially if you are doing portraits. Okay, because if you shoot vertical, then you're stuck with a vertical. Okay, if I have any tip, that's my tip for most of you. Okay, so let's see. All right, so let me just zoom through here real quick and show you this picture and this picture. Okay, you see, that's my lighting like that. Okay, the one on the right, I can't see the rest of this frame. The one on the right, okay, let me just resize this window. All right, something like that. Okay, so for something like this, I usually just say, okay, that's my canvas. I'm lighting that area, and then I'll get what I get, and then I'll worry about taking the lights out later. Okay, I took the lights out later in Photoshop. Okay, it's fairly easy to do. Okay, any questions? Yes.
Placement, the light on the left, correct.
The placement on the left,
Oh, okay,
this one,
yeah, that one, it looks like it's pointing up and
it's
back.
pointing at her face, right? So I can get that shadow. I want that hard shadow on her.
So what's the shadow on the background?
The
The-
shadow, which one?
On the wall,
That's her. See this light?
no. So right, it looks like a heart to me.
Huh?
The highlight,
Oh, that is just, I just burned down the edges like that.
okay, so
Okay.
it's not a light.
No, it's not light. I just
it's an
burned down the
effect.
edges right there. Okay, I just
Okay.
burned down the edges, and that's my little that little thing here. Okay, this one. Okay, okay. So now with this particular singer, it was super easy to shoot her because she was very easygoing, and now you can see how this could be a square too. See, I shot it like that, and then here's some more. Here's another one. This one could be a square too, but it was shot as a horizontal. Okay, it was shot as a horizontal. See, the zoom bar really bothers me. Let me put it somewhere. Okay, so constantly moving stuff around, right? Okay, anyway, so that's what the so this is like a 2-light setup. Okay, just 2-light setup. I'll remind you, this was on the roof of a building, so it was super windy. I didn't want to put a soft box and then lights, sandbag and all that. It's just too complicated. Just have it open bare light like that, and then my thing like that. So that actually puts out very nice light if you know how to use it and play around with it. Okay, so now question is, can he do it live? So I'm gonna see if I can do it live. Okay, it's always a challenge. Let me just see. First, I gotta get this to connect to my. I'm gonna get it to connect to start tether start. Can I do it live? Okay, camera detected, we're in business. I just did some pictures earlier so you can see who's there, right? All right. Okay, so so the best way to do this is first you got to pick your background, like, okay, where in this room, where? Okay, and maybe there. Okay, you start there. Oops. Sorry. All right. So So I have my person there somewhere here. Now, don't make the mistake of putting the person against the wall like that. It's not a firing squad. It's not a firing squad, okay? The reason is this, the further the background it is from the person, the more out of focus it is gonna be, right? Just think of it, you hold your thumb, you bring it closer to your eyes. The closer you bring your thumb to your eye, the more out of focus the background is, right? So that's your first tip. So you pick your area, then you decide, okay, I'm gonna do a simple lighting thing. So I'm gonna use, now the most classical type of lighting you'll see people talk about is the butterfly. You know, you might hear that butterfly thing for the ladies because it's the most flattering and all that. So I'm just going to show you really quickly. So if I have a person here, right, I want to keep, usually I use this with a grid because I don't want this light to hit the background, so I can get some sort of separate. I don't want the background to be lit. I want to keep the focus on the person. So Linda, are we good? Come on now. Just come up with your glasses and we'll see how that works, okay? All right. So it's always good to start. It's always good to start with, oh boy. Didn't know I was going to be moving furniture as well. Okay, a little closer right there, okay? So let me just see real quick. I'll just do a test, make sure I'm still tethered. Now I have the camera on what's called the eye control. I don't know what, okay. Okay, let's just do a quick one. Let's do a quick one and see. Now this is not the ideal setup because I don't have, okay, here we go. Okay, super dark, that's good, kind of. It's always good to show people that you make mistakes because you can only get better after that. Then they'll be like, wow. See, if you start really good and then you start to get worse and worse, then it's like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. All right. So you start like, in fact, if it's black, it's even better. Like if I shot, let's see. Okay. Now I just switched to this camera. It's a EOS R, is a mirrorless camera. Not particularly happy with it. It's just got too many things that you can accidentally touch, and because it's touch screen, your nose touched the screen, it messes you up. Like, what the heck did I do? Yeah, because the LCD screen is touch sensitive. Okay, so it's not ideal for me. I get really, I'm so old school. Like I wanted to just do what I want. Don't give me all this other stuff. Okay, so all right. So okay, this is going to be black too. Okay, so I wish I could show you I wish I could show you this. Okay, but I can't. So all right, how can I show you guys this? Which camera is on? Okay. I want to show you the setting on here. This is group A, okay? It's on 1/32 power. Do I point it here? Did they see it?
No, can't see it.
They.
No, because you're just sharing Photoshop.
Oh,
Sharing your screen.
can I do both? You know?
Sharing the screen, sharing the desktop. No, you can't do both.
I can't.
No, they can always see. It's one camera at a time. Yeah.
Okay, so I can't do like split the baby. No.
No, you got to share. The way to do it is to share the screen. But is your screen on there?
Right. Where?
I mean, is this thing going to show on the screen?
I want them to see this.
Put it to the camera.
Put it to which one?
Close to the camera.
Okay. All right. So the reason this is it's not enough contrast.
It's too bright.
Okay. Anyway, it's at 1/16 power. I'm gonna bump it up to maybe a quarter. Let's see how it looks. Oh, that one's on. That's why. See, I told you there was gonna be things that go wrong in a demo. And it's how you recover from it that matters. It's how you recover. Exactly. If you recover. Otherwise, uh-oh. Everybody's watching. Now, why is this not on? Okay, here we go. So this is group A, okay, everybody? I don't know if this matters, but this is group A. So this is my main light. It's group A. All right, it's group A. So my group A is set at 256 power, which is crazy low. Oh, let me see. Okay, now it's cooking. All right, so too much. I'll just say we'll start with F6, 1/16 power. All right, this one, I can leave it on for later. Just put it back here so it doesn't influence the shot. Okay, rather than turn it off. Okay, here we go. So here's my next picture. Let's see how it looks. All right, too much, right? See? Extremes. So when you shoot manual right away, the easiest thing to do is you can think about, okay, I want to change my aperture. I'm going to change my aperture, which is on this camera would be, I'm going to go to 5.6 and try it now. Same, leaving that. Okay. So once you get to your exposure, which is that, right? Then you can think about, okay, I need to separate her from the background, right? So, so remember, get your lighting right first, and then after that, you can work the poses, right? Get your lighting right first. All right. So I think that what I don't want to do now is to shoot like this. So I'm gonna do this way. I'm gonna do it this way, which is more like the classical butterfly lighting. Right here like that. And if I take this next picture, okay, this doesn't have to be there because it's going to influence the lighting if I put it there. Okay, so one thing at a time. So here. All right. Okay, getting closer. All right, I know you're saying, what? That's closer? Not really. All right, so I should be able to get this like after the 100th shot, right? After 100 tries. What time do we have? All night? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got a captive audience. I gotta work this. Okay. So you notice I'm not putting the light directly in front of her. I'm putting it above her. I'm putting it in front of her, right? I'm putting it in front of her, and then I'm kind of tilting it this way a little bit because I want this edge. I just want to use the edge. Okay, so let's take a look. Quick shot. Okay. Right. Okay. Now I need to open up my aperture and go to 4 maybe and shoot this again. Closer, closer. Okay, we're getting closer. All right. By the time we're done with this, and you see what I mean. If you're not very good technically, you spend a lot of time on this, and I'm losing her. And then when it comes time to shoot, I will completely lose Linda. So that's why, you got to know your stuff well. Practice, practice. Okay, that's why. Okay, all right, Linda. Now, let's have you stand one foot up a little bit like that, this way, and then, yeah, okay, all right, good, just like that. Now, I would shoot tighter, but all I have is a 50 here. I didn't know exactly what I'm gonna get, so I'm gonna crop in if I have to. Okay, here we go. All right. So that's the next picture. All right, too much already, but I know it's there. So what's this gonna do, this one? This is the one that's going to make the difference. This one here. Okay. This is the one that's going to make a difference. It's tipping over, so I need to put some weight on this. A chair. Okay. All right. So here, keeping everything the same, right? Just shooting this. Okay. All right. It's okay. We want to get the exposure. It's all right. So you think I could get this right away, huh? How many shots? 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Too many to count. Okay. All right. Oh my God, it's not working. It's not working. All right. So when that doesn't work, sometimes it's because this is really cutting down a lot of the light, so you take that down. So one miniature adjustment at a time. Okay. Wow. Usually this doesn't happen, right? Usually it doesn't happen, but here we go. All right. So we're getting closer. Gosh, the white balance is off. So you see what I mean by the white balance is off? So I'm going to go in here and change the white balance. The white balance is on, right now the white balance is on sunlight. Okay, I want to change it to flash. Okay, come on. All right, here we go, flash. I told you if I keep bombing, it'll get better by the time I fix everything. Okay, so what you're seeing is the flare that's coming into the lens. So I'm going to cover this like that. Okay, all right. Okay. There, the flare is gone, right? See? What you're seeing is the flare. All right, so now I just have to finesse this part. I just have to finesse this part a little bit more, right? I'm going to bring this up higher so that, yeah, I'm going to bring. Yeah.
Like auto white balance?
I don't use auto white balance. Don't use auto white balance. Use flash because you know this is flash. You know the color temperature. That's why. Okay, that's why you don't use. If you use auto white balance, this is what's going to happen. If you set your shutter speed too low, it's going to take into account the whatever this fluorescent is. Then you're going to have some funky colors. Okay, remember I had to put my hand up there like that, right? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So my exposure isn't dialed in yet. If I look at the histogram, I can tell you it's overexposed. Okay. It's still overexposed. So I'm just going to dial it one more time right there. Okay. Here we go. All right. All right. Now we're getting a lot closer. Okay. So this is the starting point for most people to do something, right? So now I'm going to add this other light here. And this one is just going to give me some separation from the back, separate her from the background, right? So let me see. I may have to do this like this. So any other questions besides the white balance? Uh-huh.
Do you still put on flash after white balance or do you put on daylight?
It depends on the time of the day. Okay, if it's in the evening, then I would say you would probably need that color temperature orange gel if it's in the evening, right? Otherwise, just keep it on. I guess automatic would work because it's going to be close to your daylight. That's why. Okay, so I'm putting this back here. Hopefully it'll stay. Okay, maybe I'll have to put that one on there. No, the trouble with holding is this. People tend to move around, and then you'll have the situation where the light is not where you want it. That's why I generally keep my light stands handy most of the time. All right, so I'm just hoping this will it'll hide her behind her like that. Yeesh. Well, it depends on what lighting you're using, or like what the dominant light is, like what shutter speed you're using, and how many f-stops there are in difference between that and what your flash. Okay. Okay, most of the time I start at 200, and then after that I will adjust it depending on let's see. Yeah, maybe you can tape this. Yeah, just good old gaffer tape. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this normally stays. It's just that I dropped it the other day, and it's never been the same. It's never been the same ever since I dropped it. And I shot when I dropped it. It was on a rooftop. It was on the roof of a building because it was windy.
Stay awake.
Okay, let's see. All right, come on. People are waiting, Peter. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, let's do this shot.
Peter,
Huh?
from the previous shot to the last one, not this one, did you reduce the power of the flash or just changing?
I just changed the
camera?
aperture.
Just the aperture. Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, it's firing. So come on. Okay, here we go. Are we coming in? All right, it's not showing up right. Okay, here we go. See, thank you. I got some people helping. All right. So that should be a little bit separation now. Let me try it again. There should be some separation there. Is it still connected? Yeah. All right. So if it's not showing up, right? Let me just zoom in and take a look. Okay, it's right there. You can see it. If I zoom in 100%, right here, let's see right there. You can see right there. Okay. So there is some, right? So it's that separation that's needed, right? That's the separation I needed. Okay. Now I can concentrate a little bit more about the posing and stuff like that, right? So okay. So so let's see if you can stand this way a little bit, and then hold your glasses next. Hold your glasses in your hand like that. Just like, yeah, something pensive you're thinking like, yeah, exactly like that. Okay, let's do that. All right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, look at me. Yeah, most of the time, yes, like that. Let's see. Okay, now bring it closer to your face. Now, I realize that I'm shooting with a 50, okay, and that's not close enough. So I'm gonna move this closer. All right, here we go. A little closer, there you go. Now, as I'm looking at this, I don't really like how how that wood paneling is below her. Do you see what I'm talking about? The wood paneling. So when it doesn't show up, okay, see that? That's why when you light, you can get rid of stuff, right? It's not a factor there. Well, when I look at it in live view, I can see the wood paneling behind. But you see it's not in the picture? All right, so it's here. Let me just drop the shutter speed so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? Just real quick. Okay. Okay, it's still not showing up yet? Okay, so that's what happens when you shoot and you light carefully. You can eliminate a lot of clutter. This is how you eliminate a lot of clutter. Okay, so I'm gonna. I need something heavy here. Okay, maybe that'll stay. Okay, because I have to get a little closer. I have to get a little closer, right? About there. All right, with a 50. But you shouldn't get too close with the 50. Why? Distortion. The nose is going to be the closest thing to the lens, and because of that, you get foreshortening, right? So you kind of have to consider that, and then think about, okay, I don't want to make her nose distorted and everything, so that's why. Okay, here we go. All right. All right. Okay. Now, sorry about that noise, guys. How interesting. That is interesting. What happened there? Okay. Very good, Linda. See, I had to spend a little bit of time to figure out what her name was. And part of the reason was, in this type of situation, it's not ideal where I'm talking to you guys, I'm presenting, and I'm wearing too many hats. So that's what happens. So now what I want is for Linda to turn this way a little bit more, right? And then look back at the camera, right there, okay? So it's a whole different thing. So let's try, yeah. Okay, bring the lens closer to your face. Yeah, like that. Okay, all right. So, okay, one more time. Sorry, I forgot to block the light. It's kind of annoying there. All right, one more time. Okay, here we go. Okay, all right. All right. So you see how that light is showing behind her? Behind her. So I gotta hide the light behind her, okay? The one that's supposed to create that wonderful separation. Okay, look upwards now. There you go, just like that. Okay, Linda? Yep. All right. Now I usually don't shoot with the tripod because it's just too annoying. It's restricting my movement. I'm composing, I'm looking, and then I want to go like this. With a tripod, I can't. Okay, so. All right, let's go one more time. It's kind of cramming my style. Okay, chin down slightly a little. There you go. Give me a smile there. Good, right there, good. So now I'm actually shooting a lot more. Okay, I'm shooting a lot more. All right, okay. See that? Okay, so, all right. So there's one other thing that you can do when you have a black boring background, right? The one other thing that you can do is like post something in the background that will make it a little bit more interesting, right? You can, let's try this. Let's try this, okay? I don't know what I'm gonna get, but, okay, this one I think I'm gonna have to ask. Let's try this. Yeah. This is another light. Can you point this? Just point this in the background there like that. Oh, it might be okay there, okay. Let me see.
Don't let it dry.
All right. So I don't know what this is gonna do. I don't know what this is gonna do, okay? Tell you, to be honest. This is like, okay. Same pose, same everything, right? So we're gonna go like that. Let's go. All right, here we go. I'm just trying, yeah. Okay, let's see what happens. Did that one go off? It didn't flash? Okay, let me fix that. That should be group. That should be group B, sorry. This is group B, guys. Okay. C is that one back there. All right. I'm gonna go B. All right. All right. So it's working. Oh, see this tripod? It's not fun to use a tripod. I just don't like it. It's cramming my style. It's like I like to be able to move quickly, and with using a tripod doesn't allow me to do that. But in a demo, I think it's probably the only way to do this. Okay, here we go. Let's try it. Okay, one more time. Cover. There. Did that fire?
Yeah.
But nothing happened in the background. Nothing happened. Okay, here we go. Gotta bump it up. Okay, one more time. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm sorry, people at home. Okay, it's not doing anything because it's too far away, I think. So ideally, this should go, is it? Yeah, it should fire and then give me something. Hold that there, right there, right there. Okay. No, that's fine. Here we go. All right, we're almost done. Here, my composition is so bad because of this. There, right? So now you know why you need a light stand for that, because what's your name? Dave is gonna be moving here and there too. Too many moving parts, right? You see why? That's why you need another light stand, and then you can fix that, right? But here's a simple pose like that, right? So now I have that locked in now. I can concentrate. Okay, maybe lower a little bit right there. Okay, Linda, big money now this time. There you go, right there like that. Okay, okay, right there. Okay. So if you have, you see, now when you have someone holding it versus this being on a light stand, then I can compose better because I can decide I want a head to be between the posts or something like that. When you have someone holding it, it's super hard. You know, it's super hard because 1 inch this way, 1 inch that way, you get too many moving parts. Okay, so thank you, Dave.
If you hadn't dropped your light,
I would have had an extra
another one.
light, yeah. Okay, but so you see how you build a portrait like that, right? You build a portrait like that. Now, obviously, if I really want to work this a little bit more, let's do one more. So Dave, hold this.
What is that thing?
It's a monstrosity. There's a Canon lens in there. Okay, there's a Canon lens in there. All right, here we go. Yeehaw. Okay, put this on. Put this on. Put this on. All right, just bandana so around your neck, right? Yeah, all right. So I'll put this here. All right. So you see how once you get everything in place and you have my picket fence type of thing, I've got my cowboy hat and bandana. See, they kind of work together, right? That's how you build it up. Now I spend a lot of time trying to get the exposure, but it's good for you to see that I make mistakes, but I'm able to recover, right? That's what's important, because you don't want a teacher that only shows you perfect pictures. Then you learn nothing from them.
Which way do you want the hat?
Let's go back to the same side like that. Yeah, turn. Yeah, okay, let's see. Oh, all right, here we go. So this time, maybe put your hands like this way, like that. Then turn it. Yeah, like that. Okay. Now, usually I have something for her, but okay, let's do that. Okay, one hand. Let's just try that pose. Yeah. Okay. One time, put the hand up. God, I keep forgetting that. Okay, that's what happens when you don't put. Okay. All right. So now you see, by adding the hat, right, it introduced another issue. It introduced another issue which you can correct by moving this. Okay, you're gonna move this a little bit. Keep that up there like that. Let's see. All right, Linda. So turn that way a little bit more, Linda. And then eyes back here. There you go, right there. Okay, so the hat introduces a whole different set of problems for you. Which is good, because then you have to figure out how to fix that. You have to figure out how to fix that, because in the real world, you know, that's how you learn. So I'm gonna move this, and I'm gonna say I'll do this like that. I'm gonna tilt this a little bit like that. Okay, all right. So what is the other thing you can do? Ask her to lift her head up a little bit. Okay, lift your head a little bit, right? Not so much. Turn your face that way. Yeah, eyes back here. There you go. There you go. Okay. Good. Just like that. Okay. Okay. Put your hands down, like right there. Okay. Just how about just hold your like that. Okay. Okay. There you go. Raise your face up. There you go. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay. What are you thinking about? Come on. What do you think about what's going to happen on Mother's Day? Well, oh, you can't tell me what's going to happen on Mother's Day. So when the flash in the back doesn't recycle fast enough, remember it's on full power, okay? That one in the back. So you got to give like 1,000, 2, 1,003, and then you're going to shoot. So there. Okay, what are you thinking about now? Okay, just like that. Your hand needs to go, just go like that. Like, yeah, okay. All right, good. Nice, just like that, okay? Raise your face up slightly. Yeah, okay, good. 1,000, 2, 1,000, there. Okay? All right. So that looks pretty good, right? Doesn't that look pretty good, Linda? All right. So it took a long time getting there, but it's important that you see that I make mistakes. And how to recover from it is without, you know, that's important, right? So I think that it's useful for you to see the mistakes more than it is to see the other technical mumbo jumbo. Okay, because and if you shoot on manual like I did, I make a series of corrections based on what is happening. And because I'm on manual, question?
Yeah, I have a question. Are you using a full cut of CTO or a half for the flash
I'm actually on these that
on your speed lights?
on these ones there's
No, like outdoors. Or
outdoors. Yes, I use like quarter.
a quarter.
Yeah, quarter. All right. Here, this is that monstrosity that you guys can look at. It's called a light blaster. Basically, it's a if you think of a projection system, that's what it is, except there's a flash in there. Because if this is flash, it syncs. This says go, everybody goes. You can change the insert. I got a picket fence, I got a cityscape, I got a, you know, it's, you could put, you know, I mean, you got to go look for those things, but that's what it is, right? Amazon, I'm sure they have it. I'm not really sure where I got about that. Any other questions? I know. See, that's why. Yeah.
Do you ever use custom?
Okay. Can you turn on the lights so you can? Do I ever use?
Do you ever use custom white balance in the studio?
No, hardly, because I know I'm using flash. I set it to flash. And I always take a first picture at 200th of a second at maybe f8. I see that I check to make sure I got like a good black. So if I get a good black at 200th of a second f8, then I know the ambient light is not going to affect my exposure. It's not going to affect white balance. That's my first shot every single time. Okay. Then after that, I just dial in my lights. Okay. Yes. Okay. That you'll have to use, like, think of the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection. Okay. So if the light is coming like that, you may have to turn it slightly like that. So if it hits that, it doesn't come back to the camera. doesn't go back. It's kind of, if you look at if you're shooting if you're shining your light at a glass door, you don't want to be straight on, you want to be at an angle, so that the same principle applies. You make sure that they're either turning slightly away and then, or turning slightly down, so when it hits there, the hot spot doesn't come back straight. It goes down or it goes to the side. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think Jeanette asked me about a workshop that she wanted to propose to members and stuff like that. I told her I could come out here and do a workshop just for you guys. I think that I said something like, if it was 100 a person for like 4 hours, you know, depending on how many people, you know, how hands-on we'll get and all that. I would say that before you go out and buy any gear, it's a good idea to, I have stuff that you guys can use. I have stuff that you guys can use, so that it's better to buy the right thing than to buy something twice. You know how our return is not the right one, you know, and because there's Sony, there's Canon, there's Nikon, there's all those things, and then, you know, it's quite confusing, to be honest. What will work with this, what will work with that, right? Yeah, it's quite confusing. Yes. Okay, so if you, where is that little doohickey? Okay, there is shall we say a cookie cutter pattern in there? A gobo, go between object kind of thing. It goes in there, and so because there's a lens in there, it lets you focus that, right? Okay, you see it in there. Here, we have, what time? We have to get out of here by 9? 8? Oh, we're late. They're gonna. Okay, see. All right, so you guys look at that. I gotta pack up, all right? So I gotta pack up. I'll answer your questions as I'm packing up. Okay, guys. Sorry it took so long, but you know what? It's